Order number 6. Replace damaged parts of the clutch. $1,000. The clutch is sliding. I've probably burned it while I was trying to pull my friend's car out of the mud. What an excuse. Please replace... Oh, please replace the clutch. It'll take seconds for you. This guy's got a strange idea about clutch. It's not like a battery. Oh my god, look at this. Wow, that is the most simple engine. It's basically, look at it. It's just an engine unit, an air intake and a battery. Oh my god. Got to find the clutch on this. It's down here in the gearbox. We've got to get out. So let's start with the starter on a V6. Pop that out. Now then, I'm just looking around this thing. And it's a rear wheel drive. So we have to get that out. Yeah. I think we're going to have to go around the back to disassemble the rear shaft, and then the front shaft we're going to have to go underneath for, then that should just pop straight off, I believe. Right. Let's pop it up on the ramp. I've never seen a car that colour. I've seen green cars, but not quite that kind of minty effect that's going on. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, blimey. I've got to take the wheels off. I've got to take the wheels off. I think we're going to have to do it for the front as well, aren't we? If I remember. It's better pop them all off. I tell you what, those alloy black wheels are very, very shiny. Apparently this guy was dragging his friend out in the mud. You wouldn't think these wheels had seen mud in the life, would you? Even the tyres are shiny. Let's just leave it on some bricks. I'm sure it'll be fine. Health and safety. Oh, I could do with a fast upgrade to this, to the wrench, couldn't I? I'm surprised with the 4x4 on them they didn't bring out that power drill option I've been going on. You know, the power tool. Kind of cool. Right. Let's have a look what's going on. Okay. Whoopsie. Camera, behave. Thank you. No, you can't come off. Because I need to take you off. And you can't come off because I need to take you off. I remember how to play this game. Come on. Spring off. I love the fact that guy is saying it'll take seconds for you. Are you kidding me, sir? I mean, really? On a front-wheel drive car, it's, you know, hours having a clutch done. On a rear, well, you can see. It's just crazy. All of that, just so I could do that. Come on, over here. Over there. Thank you. Shock absorber off-road. This is such a detailed job. Right. Then we've got that off. And now, finally, and it looks like it's going to make us come in through the top to do this. Look at the car's just nothing left of it. Spin round the back here. And there we go. The magic 6 bolts. Get the gearbox off so that we can get at this little bad boy. Right, what's that on? 84% on the bearing. Pressure plate. Obviously the friction plate's going to be knackered. Our parts list is going to be massive. Pressure plate's fine. Friction plate is 27%. Right. Phooey. Right, let's have a quick check of the inventory and just make sure there's nothing else Okay, so it is just a clutch friction plate. I'm pretty certain it's a wearable item, but I am going to check just because you never know with this game. Yeah. So I guess we're going to have to get a brand new one. A second-hand one is not going to do. Car parts. Clutch friction plate, which is that one. $470 to us. Inventory. Let's just get rid of the busted one, and then start the assembly process. Which means starting off with the friction plate, followed by the pressure plate. Followed by a release bearing, then the gearbox, might be worth checking the order at this point just to make sure it's ticked that thing before I go any further. Yes, that's fine. Yeah, it was worth a quick check because if I did get anything wrong at this stage, it would be good to know before I reassemble the entire car. Now then, that is all we can do from this side. Let's get back underneath. Start reassembling some stuff. So we shall start off with the off-road drive shaft. Front axle. Shall cunningly remember to bolt on. Come on, come on. Thank you. Then we shall pop back on. Have you noticed how you don't need to select the correct shock absorber? Like it, you know, like you've got a front left and a front right, and here it just says shock absorber off-road. I can choose any one. I find that slightly interesting. Why they chose not to go into that level of detail on the reassembly. I believe that's it. Now I've got to go to the back of the car. Drive shaft back on, put the axle back on, and shocks, and the spring, like so. Yeah, this took seconds, didn't it? Seconds. I think we're done. Just the wheels and the starter. Forgot to do the starter. That's okay, because we're going to do that from here anyway. That was my mistake. It's lucky I did check everything. Checks and balances. At the end of the day, I should have nothing left in my inventory. If I've got anything left, there's something wrong, because I always sell the broken bits. Because the trickier things on this game, I've noticed, the harder missions, or the orders, are the ones where there are pieces missing. And you've got to basically spot the difference to find out what's missing. Now, some of the worst ones they could do for that are things inside the clutch. If they was to miss out the friction plate on a clutch or something, you know, you could be there a while finding that one. I mean, seriously. But I think that should be it. Inventory is empty. Job is done. $1,000. We spent $470 in the shop, minus what we got, so probably made it about 600 profit, I would say, which is nice. Order number 7. Perform chip tuning, minimum 20%. I want to start off racing in off-road events, but my engine lacks power to go uphill. Can you add some horses under the hood for $1,000? Well, we'll see what we can do for you, sir, even though your car is obnoxiously purple. The roller dyno. And this room's different to the last one. I don't know if it's going to work differently. No, it's not. It's exactly the same. Just a different layout. Obedient Link Pro. Okay. Now then. So the first thing we have to do is get the correct ratio, and then it should just be a case of sliding it up once we get that ratio right. It's almost there, isn't it? Look at that. Almost looks right. The right ratio. There we go. Proper ratio. Now we'll try and max it out. Maybe not. Hello? Did I just do something wrong then? Right, proper ratio. That's not quite 20. Plus, 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 plus. Then it should wrap round, hopefully. There you go. That's about as maxed out as you're gonna get. You know how many extra horses this guy got. 45% difference. That is pretty impressive, actually. So for a bit of messing about in the tuning shop, we get a straight $1,000, which, you know, I'll take that. Order number 8. Fix a suspension. Okay. Replace all filters. So that'll be oil filter. Oh, wow, hang on. Air filter, oil filter, fuel filter. Any more? Don't think so. Replace the oil. There are loud noises coming from my suspension. Please check what's going on. And by the way, please check the oil and filters. Okay, I'm going to assume it wants every filter. That's $3,000. That sounds like a lot. So I'm guessing his suspension is pretty knackered. I think we're going to have to do a quick path test. And see if we can't work out what's wrong with that suspension. Could be a shock absorber, could be a spring, but my instinct tells me it's going to be a shock at least, because that's a lot of money. We're probably facing a couple of grand in parts, I think. We're only going to find out when we get jiggy, which we're about to do. Do you know, this looks like the inside of a Mazda or a Toyota. And it's so grey. I mean, you know, we've had obnoxious brown leather interiors, but this is so dull. There's not even a trim colour. Okay, let us hide the body and show what's wrong. Right, oh, look at this. Ooh, you have busted your suspension. Wow. Okay, rear left spring, rear right shock, both bushes in the rear, front shock, suspension arm. Yep, this is a pretty big parts list, I have to say. He's done a great job on breaking his car. This is going to cost money. I may have to see how much money I've got and think about, very cautiously think about, do I need to do this one? I wish it wouldn't flip that hide body thing just because I do this. Do I need the wheel out? Yes, I need the wheel out. And I've forgotten what I was saying. Never mind. Yeah, when you come out of the wheel view here, it automatically puts the body back, which is a slightly annoying feature. It just kind of forgets what mode you were in. For me, it should stick into that mode whether, you know, based on what choice I make, not on what camera I flick to. It should be me that turns that on and off. Right. Yes, sorry, I remember what I was going to say now. I was going to say, I'm going to have to spend some spend some money training in order to get some of these parts a bit cheaper. Because this is going to be an expensive do. We can repair that front arm, I think. Come on, click you. So we can repair that. There's not a lot in the repair. Oh look, that rubber bushing's gone as well. This one I think is repairable, the suspension arm. Oh man. Drive axle. I'm gonna have to come in from the top for. Okay, let's do what we can while we're underneath. Which means let's get that suspension arm out. Get that spring out. I think we can do the bushy from here. Come on. There we go. There's one. And the other one. If I can convince the camera to let me do it. Okay, now we need to drop it back down. While we do that, I'm going to quickly... Yeah, okay, so let's keep a track of this. $129, $248, so let's say $250 and $130 for a total of $380. Is that ish? Okay. Now then, let's get around here and see if we can. Hang on a minute. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm going this way. That's why. Sway bar comes off, which is broken as well, incidentally. Then we've got to take the shock off. But the spring is fine. He broke his shock, but the spring's okay. It's interesting how he did that. This one is going to have to go as well. So we're going to have to take out his outer tie rod. This is a part list from hell. This really is. Now this sway bar's fine. Come on, thank you. Shock A front right is gone. I think that's all the broken bits from the front, but I think we've still got some stuff at the back. Yeah. Just this one to take out. Have I got to have this on the ramp? I think I may do. I can't remember, but I think I do. Let's get around there. Bloody game. Sort the camera out, people. Right, there we go. Okay, I think... So, very final check before we continue this. I think that's everything. We spent $380 so far. We have no more repairable items, which means we are now into the business of replacing parts. So the first thing I can see is 3 rubber bushings and a suspension spring rear. How much money have we got? Quite a bit. So let's go into the business of discounts. We'll just level up once. I don't want to run out of money. Okay, 3 rubber bushings, which are down here. 1, 2. Look at that, $101.20. 3 and a suspension spring rear. I seem to remember. Suspension spring rear. Right, let's get rid of those 3 rubber bushings. Suspension spring rear. Let's double check we've got those. Okay, now we're into the tricky stuff where you have to pay attention. Which way should we do this? 1 outer tie rod and 1 inner tie rod. And a shock absorber rear. We'll do that first. Very easy to cock this up. 1 outer tie rod and 1 inner tie rod and a shock absorber rear. There's a shock absorber rear. Outer tie rod and the inner, come on, where are you? Inner tie rod. Okay, so we've done the outer tie rod, we've done the shock absorber rear, and we've done the inner tie rod. Inner, outer, shock. Cool. Almost there. Now, shock absorber A front left, front right. He bust both of those, interestingly enough. And a sway bar link left. Can we remember all that? Shock absorber A, front left, and an A front right, and a sway bar link left, I believe it was. Sway bar end link left. Hopefully I got that right. Shock absorber A front right, front left, and a sway bar end link left. Looks good to me. A front left, A front right. Everything is now green, and we can now begin the process of reassembly. Let's start at the back and start with which way do we need to do this? Actually, I think there's a particular order we have to do this, and I think it involves dropping this down first. Here. Or I could be wrong about that. I could be totally wrong about that. Right, let's put it back into assembly mode. And there we go. Right, that's that back on. Trying to think what parts we've got. It's a memory test as much as anything else. Now we can do the bushings, can't we, from here? Like so. And if we can pop over here, we can do that bushing like so. We can put the spring back on. And then we can put the... Come on. The arm back on. I think that's all we can do at the back now. We've got both arms, both shocks, both springs. That is done at the back. Yes, I think. Now the front, we put the suspension arm back on, which we hammered back into shape. And I think that's all we can do underneath on this one. Oh no, we've got the bushing, of course. And I think we've got to come in on the side now. So we've got to pop that back down. Oh, but wait. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I almost forgot about the filters. And you know what? While we're here, we better sort that fuel filter. Let's get around here. Go into disassembly 1 second. Fuel filter, which needs replacing. We better do the oil while we've got it on the ramp. Yep, we better do all of that while we're here. I nearly forgot about all that. Where's your sump plug? There it is. Let's get lined up here. All the way forward. Like that. I think that should do it. Okay, let's drain the oil out of his engine. Straight down the middle. Wow, that guy had no oil left. Did you see that? We've done that. We have done that, haven't we? Yes. Right, let's move this out of the way. We'll put that here. That'll be a fourth seat for somebody to sit on. Do you know what? I wouldn't put it past customers to sit down and start just tipping the coffee in there. It's the kind of thing customers do. Right. Drop this back down. Let's come in via the side. Reassemble his car. Thinking about the air filters at this point. So we've got an air filter and an oil filter to do. I must remember to do oil filter before I put oil back in the engine. That will be a very annoying mistake to make. Sway bar. You can go back on. Inner tie rod. Outer tie rod. And go back on. So all around that side. And this side. like that. Cool. Let's get his tie rod back on. Sway bar, sorry. Like that. Oh, he's already got his inner and outer tie rod. Okay, let's just see where we are. Wheels and a fuel filter. Okay, that's fine. Let's get the oil filter as well while we're here. Let's get that. And... whoa, no, not the battery. Derp. That was a misclick. Onto the air filter. Of course, got to take the flow meter off. And the cover. I'm sure covers like this aren't bolted on. They're just clips around the side. I'm sure they are. Quick release clips. Right. Okay. Air filter's screwed. Oil filter. Where's this oil filter? Oh, did I not take it out? I didn't. I just took the cap off. There's the oil filter. 23%. Right. Air filter, oil filter, fuel filter is what we need. Scroll to the top. And the air filter. The fuel filter. EF. And the oil filter. And hopefully that is all the parts we need. Fuel filter can go. Air filter can go. Oil filter can go. Run the home straight. Let's put the battery back on, which we never did anything with. That's not properly bolted. The meter can go back on. Flow tube. Right, now let's get the air filter back in. Let's get the oil cap back on. We're going to have to go around the back in a minute and put the fuel filter back in. But for now, I think we'll start by filling him back up with oil. Normally takes a bit more than a full lot like that. Let's see where that's at. Dipstick says more oil, please. Supermotor oil 10W30. That's good. Let's put the cover back on. Final thing to do is get the fuel filter back in. Smack the wheels back on and we should be done. Let's see where we are on this. Yes, all three ticked. This gentleman's wheels back. Quite a fiddly little job, that one. Wasn't straightforward. It's one wheel. Wheel number 2. Didn't go on properly. And finally, I want to see how much money I've got left. I wonder if I can get another another learning upgrade done safely. Say safely, you've got to be careful. Got to make sure you've got a bit of a float. Let's have a quick look. What have we got? Oh yeah, $6,000. $6,200. I think we'll go for 5% more income. Hoping we get a decent job next. And I don't want to go below 4. I think that's fine. Anyway, that was an interesting job. $2,000. I think we made good money on that one, but I didn't track it accurately.